Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kody Brown doesn't have the best track record on the show. Apart from Robyn and their kids, he does not have a good relationship with anyone else in the family. Surprisingly, he is also not on good terms with his kids from his ex-wives. However, lately, he's been trying to change the dynamic. A few days ago, he shared that he was spending time with his other kids. He wants to build a friendship with them. Suki Krishnan, who hosted the tell-all, recently appeared on Sarah Fraser's podcast, where she shared more information about the Brown family. She opened up about Kody's relationship state with his kids and why the Brown family did not do any group interviews on the show. She also shared more details about the family and her experience interviewing them during the tell-all. Sister Wives, Suki Krishnan shuts down Kody's tantrum with class. Kody Brown has always had a reputation for trying to dominate talks and act like the authority figure in his family. He tried to do the same with Suki, but she shut him down like a boss. During the interview, Kody got angry and told her he could shut her up if he wanted to. Instead of backing down, Suki calmly clapped back and told him to stop acting like a baby and try having a grown-up talk. Kody was clearly thrown off and nervously laughed it off. Fans loved the moment. Viewers filled social media praising Suki for standing her ground. Sister Wives, Suki Krishnan spills the beans about Kody's equation with his family. Sister Wives host, Sukanya Krishnan, recently attended the Sarah Fraser talk show. There, she discussed her experience with the Brown family in depth. During the first episode of the tell-all, Kody, along with his OG 3 wives, Janelle, Christine, and Mary, had a one-on-one chat with Suki. Kody also remembers when the entire family used to do interviews together and called it a great time. In the second episode, Robyn joined them, but she also had a one-on-one session with Sukanya. There were no group talks during any of the episodes or in the podcast. Suki explained why she didn't do any group interviews with the Brown family. As per Suki, it's basic common sense that the family is no longer together, and bringing them in for a group interview will make things worse. She added that she suggested the idea of a group interview to Robyn, Kody, Janelle, and Mary. However, they all prefer a one-on-one discussion. However, only Christine was up for a group interview, as she has fully moved on from the Brown family. It was clear that no one was ready for a group interview as of now, except for Christine. Suki also addressed Kody's equation with his bigger kids. Suki shared that Kody is now working on his relationship with his older kids. He is doing his best to find a place where he can see his sons become men and his girls become women. He was hopeful that he would heal the wounds with them and form a new kind of friendship. Suki also explained that some of the kids have closed their doors, but there are still some who welcomed Kody with open arms. Kody Brown said his marriage to Mary Brown was miserable. Kody revealed he and Mary didn't know each other all that well when they wed both spiritually and officially at the age of 21 and 19, respectively. They finally filed for divorce in 2014 so Kody could legally adopt Robyn's 3 eldest children from her first marriage. When we got married, she was very different, and I think just there's some baggage that Mary had that I didn't know about, Kody explained. Initially, I felt like I could live with it. Claiming that everything was a fight, he said, I can't live in a world where she is constantly angry at me. Yet, he was unable to leave. A man in plural marriage, said Kody, if he wants to stay true and in the faith, he cannot request a divorce. It's not allowed. So, I was not able to get out of that relationship. At the same time, I didn't exactly want out of the relationship. I wanted to know if we could save and fix it. Hence the mixed messages. He admitted of Mary thinking they would work everything out. But every time they were together, continued Kody, she wasn't nice, she wasn't fun, she wasn't kind, she wasn't interesting. I'm trying to be interested with her, and I'm bored. To be fair, he added, he could see why Mary felt abandoned. But I didn't kick me out. Christine, Janelle, and Mary all decided to have me leave the home. Kody Brown didn't agree with Mary Brown wanting a spiritual divorce. Though Janelle and Christine felt they didn't need to divorce Kody because their marriage was never legal, Mary asked their church for an official split, called a release, in late 2022. When each of us four ladies married Kody, it was through our church, she revealed in the September 22nd episode. Obviously, we can't all be legally married, but it was what we called a covenant. So I feel like it's best to terminate that because we're not going forward with any marriage and I don't want to be, sealed to him for eternity if he doesn't want me. And I'm at a place that, let's just separate this totally. Kody was resistant to the idea, she added, not wanting to acknowledge the authority of the church leaders. The damage was done so badly that we're not going to reconcile no matter what, Kody explained of his stance. And so, however, we are made responsible to God. I don't want to be accountable to this church and all their BS. So I'm going to let Mary go and do her thing because if I'm angry at her, it becomes a fight. And I needed her just to go away because it just took forever for her to finally understand it's been done and over for years. Many of Kody Brown's kids aren't speaking to each other. A text message discussion over a 2021 holiday gift swap turned particularly ugly for the 18 Brown offspring. It all went bad, it all went south, detailed Christine. Kody and Robyn and their kids were on one side, and they wanted nothing to do with Janelle, me, our kids. And there's a split that happened after this text thread. Robyn's take was that her 3 older kids felt the exchange was emotionally unsafe and said they needed to take a step back from the relationship. But it was never anything about, we don't want to see you again, we don't want anything to do with you, she insisted. It was just about, hey, this got yucky. For his part, Gabriel is hoping that they could find their way back to each other. The thing I want most is to just have a relationship with Robyn's children again, he admitted in the October 13th episode. In middle school, Aurora was my favorite person to hang out with. And in high school, I would always try to hit Dayton up. But I'm not hopeful for a relationship with Dad and Robyn. Robyn Brown's kids never felt welcomed into the family. I've been told directly, multiple circumstances by multiple different people, that I was not accepted. Aurora insisted of coming into the family when her mom wed Kody in 2010, that I was not their sister, that they didn't consider or see me that way. And her sister Brianna said she felt the parents could have done a better job with, connecting us as a family, and it never really happened. But Christine isn't sure how they could have opened their arms any wider. Robyn's kids and Robyn were invited to everything, she insisted. I would just say, just come into the house anytime you want. Meanwhile, she added, her daughter Isabel Brown was very close to Robyn's kids and Michael T. Brown Padron even lived with them for a stretch. There were hard times and my kids were frustrated, but they always considered Robyn's kids their siblings, just the same. Janelle Brown would do plural marriage again. Kody Brown wouldn't. Gushing about the independence she was afforded, Janelle said of plural marriage, when it's working properly, you have this amazing family unit that you're part of, a community that you're plugged into. You have a husband and you have a great relationship with him, and you have everything right. And then I have all my freedom. So to me, plural marriage really was a really great situation. Kody, however, wouldn't say I do to polygamy again. Polygamy kills emotional intimacy, he opined on the December 1st show. It makes everybody defensive, and I really want an emotionally vulnerable, intimate relationship with a woman, and you're not going to get that in polygamy. Kody Brown started distancing himself from Janelle Brown years ago. To hear Janelle tell it, Kody had a tougher time splitting his love after the family decamped from Las Vegas to Arizona in 2018. When he moved to Flagstaff, Kody found it a lot easier to be away, she noted on the September 29th show. A couple of times I had to remind him that he needed to come to my house. Revealing he'd try to beg off because he was tired, she shared, I'm really tired. I'm like, well, you can rest at my house just as much as you can rest at Robyn's house. Janelle Brown and Christine Brown Woolley's kids didn't love going to Robyn Brown's home. Detailing this separateness her brood felt with Robyn, Janelle claimed, my children were scolded if they would open up Robyn's fridge. For Christine's kids, though, the issue was that they saw that Robyn and their dad were a couple and he wasn't in our home. And Robyn said her crew certainly felt the divide. Mary, across the board, was very accepting of my kids and I, but the rest of the family really struggled to accept my kids and I, she shared on the September 29th show. All we wanted to do was be a part of this family. But Gabriel would claim that he and his siblings went to great lengths to bring them into the fold. I think that Robyn definitely has a victim complex, he said in the October 13th show. I mean, to put it bluntly. And I don't necessarily blame her for that. I think that different people do, create different strategies to keep themselves afloat. However, he continued, if she actually believes that we were mistreating her or her children in any way when she was constantly getting favorited by Dad, and we were always working on our relationship with her kids, if she actually believes that, then there's no chance of me having a relationship with Robyn ever again. Janelle Brown questioned Robyn Brown and Kody Brown's parenting. Having their dad shuffle between 4 different homes did have an effect on Kody's 18 kids, he detailed during the September 29th show, sharing the time that his and Robyn's youngest, Ariella, who was born in January 2016, clung to his leg as he was trying to leave. I had to explain to her, there's another wife that needs me, another mommy. I got other kids that need to see me, Kody described. And she's just dragging along on my legs screaming, don't leave me, Daddy, don't leave me. And I'm like, golly man, this is hard. Unfortunately, that's just a fact of plural marriage, insisted Janelle. From the very beginning, she explained, her kids knew that their dad was not going to always be there. I always felt like that Kody and Robyn mismanaged the problem with her children. He couldn't be away for more than 3 or 4 days because Ari just gets so sad, or whatever. I'm like, I feel like that was bad parenting. Through all history of the family, the other kids did it, and they're fine. They're well-adjusted adults. Michael T. Padron had a very close relationship with Robyn Brown, one of the few Brown kids who is still close to both Robyn and Kody and Christine and Janelle. Mom of 3, Michael T. took on the role of peacekeeper during Kody's divorces. Tight with Robyn from the moment she entered the Brown family, Michael T. even asked her to be at the November 2022 birth of her twins Archer and Ace. When Robyn first joined the family, I was trying to figure out who I was, and she made me feel special, and she made me feel seen, Michael T. revealed during the September 29th episode. Robyn was there for me when I needed somebody. She was there for me when I needed somebody to hear me, to love me. And her mom, Christine, couldn't have been more thrilled. When Robyn came in the family, and it was obvious her and Michael T. had a great relationship, it was everything that I hoped for. Christine shared the October 6th episode. When I was so excited about having a plural family, I was hoping that my kids would have a great relationship with other moms. One of Kody Brown's kids claimed he brainwashed them. Kody feels it's not only his wives who subtracted him from their lives. They're purposefully leaving me out of their lives to punish me for a crime I did not commit, he explained during the October 6th episodes, giving his take on his estrangement from some of his older kids. I am only guilty of not falling madly in love with their mothers. What's more, he continued, he thinks his past spouses are a bit to blame. This disparity in relationship with my children is specifically in my mind because of SD talk, he said. There's this whirlwind of sadness from the family breaking up or whatever, and it's like, well, blame Dad. Dad screwed up. But while he can shoulder a bit of that blame, he takes umbrance with the name-calling, revealing, specifically, that he was struggling to connect with Hunter, Maddie, and Gabriel. Kody shared that one of his kids replied to a text saying, "You are a piece of trash. I would never speak to you again anyway." In a different incident, he told cameras, "I've had one of my kids just say, 'You're an a-hole. I'm never talking to you again. You twisted me, and you brainwashed me.' And it's that venom he's not willing to deal with. I'm not going to reach out forever," he said, noting he thinks his adult children should be doing more to fix things. "I'm willing to make the effort, but somebody else is going to have to be on the other end of that and make some effort too." Robyn Brown was struggling to respect Kody Brown as a parent. For Robyn, watching Kody's separation from his adult children hit far too close to home. "When I was little, my parents got a divorce," she explained during the October 6th episode. "He lived with one wife in another place, and then my mom lived alone. I remember addressing my biological father saying, 'What happened? Why?' All he really did was just make a bunch of lame reasons as to why he wasn't there for me when I was young, and it just sucked." So, no, She wasn't about to allow Kody's hurt feelings stop him from making an effort. "I'm having a hard time feeling like losing respect for you a little bit," she shared during their explosive on-camera fight, which took place in late 2022. And though Kody acknowledged he could be doing more to mend his bond with his kids, he said he needs to mend his heart first. Saying he feels some of his kids are colluding against me, he revealed, "I'm so angry about what has happened that if I talk to my kids, I'm scared that they'll trigger me with an accusation. I'm too hot-headed right now. All I'll do is more harm." Kody Brown went years without seeing his grandchildren. Though much of the family was in attendance when Janelle and Kody's oldest Logan wed now-wife Michelle Petty in October 2022, they weren't really feeling the love. "You saw Madison take her kids and scuttle them away from me," Kody complained to Robyn in the October 6 show, noting that his daughter hadn't told him she was expecting her third baby, daughter Josephine, who arrived in February 2023. "She never told me she was pregnant. Frankly, Maddie doesn't tell her dad much of anything, with the two rarely speaking. Really, Maddie doesn't have any contact with him," Janelle revealed of why her daughter steered clear of Kody at the wedding. "She is very protective of her children. Kody has not been there since Evie was born, and Evie's 3.5. And she didn't want him to just drop in and be like, 'Oh, I'm your grandpa,' and then be like, 'What? Who is this guy?'" Kody's take? "It's unrealistic expectation for grandparents to be in their grandchildren's lives all the time," he said, referencing Maddie's life in North Carolina, "especially if you move your children to a totally different coast. I have work and a life in Flagstaff." Kody Brown wanted his kids to apologize to Robyn Brown. While it's clear that Kody and his adult children have very different opinions of their ongoing estrangement, one sticking point is his demanding some sort of mea culpa. "After the COVID scare was over and we all went back to our normal lives, we still couldn't reconcile as a family because Kody felt like the boys needed to give an apology to him and to Robyn, especially to Robyn," Janelle shared of her kids in the October 13th episode. "And after it sort of morphed into this, well, they just need to come and talk to me." Kody's issue, Janelle continued, was that he felt his kids hadn't been true to him, and the most precious person in this family who's given her heart and soul has been disrespected or some bull's tea like that, she summed up. "And I'm like, whatever, Kody." "Yeah, whatever." Gabriel shared a similar stance, describing one talk with his father. "He kept phrasing it like I owed him an apology," he recalled to Janelle. "Eventually I was just like, hey, unless you're actually ready to have a relationship and fix things, then we're not going to talk anymore." He came back a couple of days later and texted me. He's like, "Hey, I've been thinking about what you've been saying. I forgive you, please forgive me." I was like, "Forgive me for what?" Kody Brown only sees one of Janelle Brown's kids. Of the 6 children Kody shares with Janelle, he only sees his youngest, Savannah. "It's not frequently, but every couple months he'll call and they'll go out," Janelle described in the October 13th show. The rest of the kids don't really have much of any kind of connection with him. As for Savannah, who finished from high school in 2023, she feels her 4 older brothers have taken on that father figure role, the teen already confessing to Janelle that she'd tap her siblings to walk her down the aisle one day. "I've talked to Savannah about it and she's like, 'Look, I just have come to realize that this is who he is,'" detailed Janelle. "He's going to be kind of that dad who shows up and we have a lot of fun and then he's gone. I can meet him where he's at. It's okay." Janelle, however, is less tolerant. "I'm just so frustrated with Kody," she lamented. "Look, I've seen this happen. I have several women I've worked with over the years who divorced, and then the father just goes MIA with the kids." Gabriel Brown said he'd be fine never seeing Dad Kody Brown again. Early on in their father-son rift, Gabriel took it very hard because Kody was someone who would take Gabriel with him on business trips, described Janelle, saying that Kody was a totally engaged father up until the past few years. And while Gabriel is somewhat flummoxed over what he did to anger his father, he said during the October 13th episode, "I told Dad that if he doesn't change and he can't take accountability, then I just won't ever see him again. And I'm perfectly okay with that." As Janelle put it, he's at peace that his dad is not in his life. And, that's what I hope for all of my kids. And I think they're all getting here. For his part, Kody also seems resigned to the situation. "I'm really sorry that Gabriel feels that way," he shared in an admission. "I have reached out to him multiple times only to get rejected. But it wasn't from a lack of trying on my part." Kody Brown feared Mary Brown would trash talk him.